Good morning, everyone. Kris here with Inspired Energy, joining me this morning, Hartwell. Good morning, Hartwell.
Good morning, Chris. Good morning, everyone.
Yes, and it's finally cooled down a little bit, just a touch, but it's still nice out. So, this morning, what the topic that we're going to dive into is about taking a look at the 10 gates of love in human design. So, the system, as you know at Hartwell, claims to be comprehensive in its ability to describe all aspects of human life. So, what can you tell us that it says about love?
Well, it has a fair amount to say about love.
Mm-hmm.
um, One of the key things is it differentiates love from sexuality. So there's sexual gates or the gates of caring. But today we're here to talk about the gates of love. And there's two kinds from a human design perspective. There is transpersonal love, and there is personal love.
Mm-hmm. And so,
And
I was going to say, how does it differentiate between the two?
well, it makes the distinction by saying that transpersonal love, it's more about it's more about uh, love that goes beyond the personal, that doesn't feel personal. It's more love for life or more love for a universal kind of energy.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't I think when most of us think of love, we think of something that's felt very personally.
Mm-hmm.
And so those are the personal gates of love. And but the transpersonal ones, they don't feel that way. Their reach is for a greater love. Their reach when they reach for a greater love, it's to for those gates, it's about loving in general. You
Mm-hmm.
know, loving that isn't specific to an object, I guess you would say.
Love just for the sake of love.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so if we start with the transpersonal gates, perhaps,
Mm-hmm. So,
um,
what are they?
they are 25, 10, 15, and 46. And all of them are in the G center, which is the center that has to do with love and has to do with direction. And has to do with the higher self. So, in a sense, all of the forms of love that we would consider um, the transpersonal ones are linked with what we call the higher self, which is the G center.
Mm-hmm.
Now, gate 10 is the only one that human design considers, in a sense, to bridge or be both transpersonal and personal simultaneously.
Mm-hmm.
It's the love of being alive, just pure and simple, the love of life. Um, so that's the impersonal side of it. The personal side is, it's love, self-love,
Mm-hmm.
love for one's own presence in the world, loving the world, loving the universe as it is. So, that's how the gate 10 feels.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about the capacity to show up in the world as a with love towards oneself.
And
What
so we just had Dragona sign in. Good morning, Dragona.
the next gate, gate 25, is called, well, gate 10 is called the behavior of the self. Gate 25 is called the gate of the spirit of the self. And this is what we would call universal unconditional love. Love in the universe, not of the universe, but expressing love in the universe, just bringing that experience into life. And this can be an impersonal love that, for your crystal collection, for your
Mm-hmm.
car, for your guitar.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that love for the universe. It's that love for the things that we enjoy in life. Um, and it's childlike. It's just like um, it's got an innocence to it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it might be interesting to note somewhere along here that every one of these gates can also be about hate.
Oh, the
So,
opposite side.
if we're not in alignment, it can turn towards the hate of these things.
Mhm.
Self-hatred in gate 10, and dislike of life, with gate 25.
Mhm.
So if we continue, gate 15, which is called the gate of extremes, is the love for humanity. It's the love of being human, and the idea of loving humans as a collective, kind of as an idea.
Mhm.
Um, these folks don't care who they love, but they have this love for humanity in general.
Right.
Um, and that can turn into a hatred for those who destroy the world too, so
Mhm.
it can be love and hate, as we all know, can be flip sides of each other.
Mhm.
And gate 46, the gate of determination, is about loving the body, loving the
Mhm.
form that each body and each individual can take. The body is a temple. The body, love of the body, in terms of enjoying sex, that can be an aspect of gate 46. Um, but each of these don't feel personal.
Mhm.
For instance, if somebody is born on one of the equinoxes or the solstices, they are born with an incarnation cross called the cross of the vessel of love. And when you're around such people, um, you very much feel that they're loving.
Mhm.
These are loving people. And yet, if you're in a personal relationship with them, it doesn't feel personal.
Mhm.
It doesn't feel like there's that codependency, cozy, oh, you're so important to me feeling. It's like you feel
That
that,
romantic.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel romantic. It
Mhm.
feels like, oh, they're a loving person in general, and you happen to be um, the one that they're expressing it towards, but it's not
Right.
about feelings.
Yeah. Feelings. What are those? Yeah. Mhm. So now that we've covered the gates of the transpersonal, what are the gates of personal love, and what does that look like?
Yeah. Well, there are six of them, when there are only four of the personal ones. So,
Mhm.
I mean, these are more the gates of what we would often consider to be personal love. If we
Mhm.
start with gate 44 first,
Mhm.
sorry, cat distractions.
Yeah.
um, Gate 44, which is in the spleen, is called the gate of alertness. This
Mhm.
is about successful love, love of talent and recognition, love of a partner who is noteworthy,
Mhm.
love of what a union or a connection with that person can bring to your life,
Mhm.
material success. So, part of the love that you experience if you have the gate of alertness is um, love that love that is related to how it moves you forward in life. Love
Mhm.
that relates to career or recognition or talent or that kind of a thing.
Right. Or what you love to do and that sort of thing.
Well, maybe,
Mhm.
love of what you can do if it brings you recognition, or maybe if
Mhm.
it's a product of, being successful. So it has a careerish tinge to it,
Mhm.
um, I guess you would say.
Mhm.
The next gate, gate 40, which is in the ego, is called the gate of aloneness. And this is love that is earned. So the ego has to do with self-worth and self-love, based upon what you can do in the world, what you can accomplish,
Mhm.
what you can apply will to. So in gate 40, finding love and appreciation for the work that you do. So this can be altruistic. You can work for the sake of the love of the people in your life, for the love of your family, for instance. I'm the breadwinner. My love is expressed through working for my family.
Right.
Um, and love is an affirmation of one's worth, bolsters one's self-esteem. So if somebody loves you for what you contribute, through your work, um, that is how you want or can receive love. Or it might be love of work if it contributes to the people you love.
Right.
So it's all about what you can contribute. And in a sense, there is a feeling here with the gate 44 and with the gate 40, they're part of the tribal circuitry. So there's love for what you can do for people, or love for what something brings to you.
So
I
was just going to say, what comes to me is that could turn into be somebody who's out of balance would be very codependent and people pleasing and that sort of thing, versus somebody who's doing stuff for the tribe, right, to help the tribe, so that then that love is recognized through that work.
Possibly, yeah. It can turn into hate too, hate of the work that you do because you're not getting the love you need anymore, maybe. But I mean, a lot of conversation around love these days has to do with love languages, right?
Right.
So let's say, well, my love language is to support the people that I love. That would be gate. That might be one way of expressing that, right? Now, the next gate 58, is in the root center, and it's the gate of vitality. And this is a love that wants to correct and improve things. This is love that perfects. There's a pressure always to improve. So the message here is, you're great. I love you. You're great. But you could be even better. I want you to be better because I love you and I want you to be better. I think you're already great, but you can be better. So,
is that like maybe seeing potential in people, right? So somebody who would have that gate, I would say, would be able to see the potential of somebody's life and what they could accomplish, right? And who they could be.
I could see that. I could also see that with the gate of alertness, the love of talent and recognition. So you might fall in love with somebody's talent or the potential they have. So I could see how those themes would arise through both of those gates.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, my love for you is expressed through my desire that we improve our lives together. That doesn't mean that I reject or don't find value in what we already have, but there's this restlessness in the person with the gate of 58, a pressure.
Yeah.
Now, the gate next one, the gate 41, which is also in the spleen, is the gate of fantasy. And it dreams of love. It wants the stimulation. It's fueled or finds love through fantasies, through sexual experience. And those fantasies and desires are meant to be realized through adventures, adventures and experiences, and through erotic literature, through sexual experimentation. So,
yeah, we were laughing at this one yesterday.
Yeah,
this is the one, the people that are hopelessly romantic and, reading romance novels and watching romance movies.
And maybe these are people who have kinky sex.
Yeah.
Fantasies about, role playing and stuff like that.
Yeah. Exactly.
So you can see how some of these, what we commonly think of as love, can be playing out through these things. The next one, the gate of the game player, is in the spleen, and it's love with a purpose. So I love you because you make me aware and lead me. You help me be better. You give my life purpose. Without you, I would have no purpose. So it's love that arises from being inspired by a goal or a purpose, or about
Mm-hmm.
how somebody in your life makes you feel more purposeful,
Mm-hmm.
or gives you a sense of direction, and a sense of being inspiring you towards something.
Mm-hmm.
So um, I kind of like that one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have it, but I kind of like it.
Chart envy again.
Well, I have the opposite gate. You and I both do gate
Yeah.
38. That might play
Mm-hmm.
into it.
Mm-hmm.
The final gate, interestingly, of the gates of love is the only one that's in the emotional center, gate 55, gate of spirit.
Mm-hmm.
This is eternally indecisive love, unrequited love. It's mysterious, it's mystical, it's emotional. Um, and it's the kind of love that says, "What am I feeling? Am I feeling love? Do they love me? Tell me they love me. How do I know if they love me?"
Mm-hmm.
Um, this is a striving for sublime, poetic love with passions and feelings that are kin to art. That artistic love, or
Mm-hmm.
the passion of love, the art of love.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's always an anticipation with this one of something that can never be achieved. It's a little bit like sitting with a daisy. He loves me not. He loves me, he loves me not.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a very, very deeply romantic one.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always this. It's subject to the mood of the wave, right? It's subject
Right.
to emotional waves. So there's always this kind of, what am I feeling? Is this the real thing? Is
Mm-hmm.
this puppy love, or is this codependence?
Right.
People, they have this idea about what love is, and
Mm-hmm.
apparently this can lead to that kind of waffling in indecisive love. Yet nevertheless feels so passionate.
Right. Yeah. So this has been an interesting exploration. Is there anything else you want to tell us about your exploration into the gates of love before we sign off?
Um, well, I find it so intriguing, that if you think about it too much, you might say, well, don't I experience love of self? I don't have gate 10, but can't I feel self-love?
Mm-hmm.
If, I don't have gate, somebody might say, well, I don't have gate 55. Does that mean that I can't feel that passionate romantic love? It might get us all in the head about things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think we have to be really aware about that. And
Mm-hmm.
remember that you can have a sense, say you're not defined emotionally. That means that it doesn't arise from you, but you still have connections with all the people in your life.
Yeah,
So
but
that
if they
that you
have that gate or channel, would you not be um, feeling that from them if you're
That's right.
undefined?
So you would participate in those other forms of love potentially,
Mm-hmm.
because we're always in the aura of other people.
Right.
But the gates that we have are the ones that we're bringing to life. We're bringing those themes into the world, and we're grounding those themes. Um, so that's one of the thoughts that I had about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It can make for deep, lots of interesting introspection. What about you? Do
Well,
you have any thoughts?
well, something just came to me as you were talking, and that is that we're constantly moving in and out of people's auras. So when we're interacting with people and when we're by ourselves, this can then affect how we feel about love. So when I'm with somebody, I can feel that deep emotional connection. And then when I'm not with them, if I'm undefined in that area, I may be feeling nothing, right? But then when I
Yeah,
move back in, then I have that same feeling again. And then people are like, well, what's wrong with me? But it's just that you're moving in and out of these different energies, right?
sure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, that's one of the most profound implications too. It's like you get a
Yeah.
taste of it. What if you want more of a taste of that?
Mm-hmm.
but it's not part of what's steady for you. It's not in your actual design.
Right.
And so this is where we can be conditioned to look for something that isn't maybe going to be part of our experience on a more permanent basis.
How interesting. Well, this has been fun. So I guess that we'll have another surprise next week. If anybody would like to dive deeper into your charts or into the gates of love that you have, you can call us here at 587-596-3333 and book an appointment with Hartwell. And he would love to dive into your chart with you. So with that, we're going to sign off and say goodbye, and we'll see you next Wednesday at 9. God bless.